to talk to you a little bit about work capacity today. Last week we talked about what fitness was and the metabolic pathways and work capacity, and we defined what CrossFit and fitness was. So fitness is increasing work capacity across broad times and modal domains. CrossFit's definition is constantly varied functional movements executed at a relative high intensity. That relative word is super important because everybody's slingshot is different, right? Your slingshot is like your stress threshold. So if you have too much stress here, you're going to end up injured, right? But if you don't have enough stress and you don't push yourself enough, you're going to have very low performance. There's that perfect stress amount that perfect intensity amount that is going to give you the highest performance. And for those of you who have been doing CrossFit for a while, it takes a little bit to figure out that perfect stress amount, right? I would say it probably took most people between around 3 to 4 months to kind of pinpoint what that is, to truly figure out how you can maximize your performance. When you look at the workout or the whiteboard of the day, obviously the WOD, the workout of the day, that's going to tell you what we're going to be doing, okay? Our domain is going to tell you how the workout's going to feel, and then this also kind of goes into our metabolic pathways. So today was a sustained pace, so we were working that oxidative metabolic pathway. Yesterday was a send pace, so we were working that phosphagen energy pathway, okay? So in the back of like my mind and the coach's minds, hopefully, they're thinking about those 3 metabolic pathways. It's a lot easier for us to put send, reach, and sustain on there rather than phosphagen, glycolytic, and oxidative, right? It would be like, you guys would be like, what the heck? But that's literally what those 3 words transfer to. And then the scaling options, here we give you scaling options to preserve the intended stimulus of the workout, okay? And that is super important. We want you to hit a certain work capacity or a certain work with every single workout that we do. That's why we give you that target score. If you go below that target score, you're not hitting that threshold that we want you to. Okay? If you're going above it, then maybe you also aren't hitting that threshold, and maybe you went a little bit too light on some weights. I'm going to show you what this looks like really quickly with some math. Okay? So we truly want to preserve the intended stimulus to maximize your work capacity. So let's take the workout Karen, for example. It's 150 wall balls for time. The prescribed weight for the guys is a 20-pound wall ball, 14 pounds for the ladies. Let's say that I did Karen 150 wall balls, 14 pounds, and I did it in 5 minutes. So that would transfer to 300 seconds. Okay? If you do the math on that, it would end up being, my work for that workout would end up being 7 joules is what the unit we go by there is, okay? So I produced 7 joules in that 5 minutes. However, if I did Karen 150 wall balls with a 10-pound wall ball, and I did it in significantly less time, 3 minutes, which would be 180 seconds, I would actually produce 8.3 joules. Okay? So do you see there how just because I used a heavier weight, but it took me longer, I actually didn't produce as much work as I would have if I went lighter and went faster? Does that make sense? Okay? I'm not telling you that that's always the way to go, lighter and faster. However, it's something to keep in the back of your head when sometimes you're thinking, ooh, should I do this weight or this weight? Maybe it's better to go lighter, go faster. You're going to produce more work, and then you're probably going to end up getting fitter faster if you're producing more work. Does that make sense? You could do this with so many different workouts. But I feel like it's important to know that, because sometimes we start comparing ourselves to others, or we get down on ourselves. And it's so important to just know that everybody's slingshot's different. So you should never be comparing yourself to others. It's your own race, right? Any questions on that? Cool. Have a good day, guys. Yep.